आदरणीय जसवंत सिंह जी, मंच पर बैठे श्री दोयल, श्री लामलाल, श्री जाजू, श्री अरुण सिंह, सभागार में बैठे माननीय चतुर्वेदी जी, जनरल मलिक, देवियों और सज्जनों, मैं पुरानी पीढ़ी का हूँ और हमारी शिक्षा दीक्षा अंग्रेजों के ज़माने में हुई। हिंदी मेरी मातृभाषा है, किंतु किसी जटिल समस्या पे अपने विचार रखने में मुझे अंग्रेजी में ज़्यादा सुविधा होती है। इसलिए मैंने ये अनुरोध किया था कि मैं अपने विचार आपके सामने अंग्रेजी में रखूं। We are celebrating the martyrdom week of one of the very great Indians of our times, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. I recall those gory days of partition, when the integrity of India, the security and peace of India suffered so brutally at the hands of partition holocaust. Millions died, millions were uprooted. And I had the misfortune of seeing this for 3 months from a moving train in Punjab at that time. All that was the outcome of the two-nation theory. Soon after, we were faced with another problem, an emerging three-nation theory. In Kashmir, where we had gone to fight a war, every effort was made to promote a three-nation concept. And it was there that Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee made a good contribution in arresting that process. As you all know, the permit system, which was almost like a visa, had to be obtained for an Indian from the mainland going into Kashmir. The national flag was not flown in Kashmir. And of course, they had a separate constitution, separate Sadr Riyasat or a president, and so on. And his martyrdom arrested that process. The permit system was abolished. National flags could be flown along with the state flag. And even today, Kashmir is the only state where both flags have to be flown together. And what is more, certain other amendments were brought in as a result of his martyrdom. The jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, of the Election Commission, of the Comptroller and Auditor General was extended to Kashmir. All India services like IPS and IAS were now being deputed to serve in Kashmir. Of course, Article 370, which was initially a temporary provision in our Constitution, for political reasons, continues to be retained. Today, I'd like to share my views with you on the threats to the identity and security of our nation, which is the subject on which I've been asked to speak. Well, in specific terms, there are three major threats which I'd like to touch upon. The first is Pakistan. Second is China. It's not in any order of priority. And the third is the Maoist menace, what the Naxals are doing. So far as Pakistan is concerned, I shall begin by saying that the origin and history of Pakistan is one of relentless hostility towards India, which is now seen in the intense hate India attitude developed by that country. Sir Syed Ahmad, the founder of Aligarh Muslim University, on 16th March 1888 had said something very pertinent. He had said that Hindus and Muslims are two nations. They cannot sit on the same throne and rule. One of them has to rule. And implying that Muslims should rule over India, he had said that our co-religionists and friends in the mountain valleys will descend like a swarm of locusts, converting the area from the frontier to Bengal into a river of blood. That was 1888. Mr. Jinnah was very disappointed in what he got, a moth-eaten Pakistan. He was playing for bigger stakes. But undeterred, he thought he will prove Sir Syed Ahmad's views by unleashing a locust of Pathans into Kashmir on 22nd October 1947. Had better sense prevailed on him and his generals, he should have delayed this operation by 7 days. If we had done it on 29th of October, the story would have been entirely different. The Kashmir Valley would have got isolated from the rest of India because of snow. There was only a grass airfield at Srinagar in those days, and there was no tunnel at Banihal. He did us a favor by starting his operation on the 22nd of October. We were taken totally by surprise. And against all odds, we miraculously rescued the Kashmir Valley. The window of opportunity was 15 days, and I was personally associated with that operation. We flew in 800 civilian Dakota sorties from Safdarjung Airport to the grass airfield at Srinagar. On the first day when we landed on 27th October, our total strength at the airport was only 300 soldiers, and the enemy was 10,000 strong in Baramulla. But we built up our strength and drove the enemy out of the valley. And thereafter, series of blunders followed. We moved from one folly to another, promising that people of Kashmir will be allowed to determine their future. There's no requirement for it, no legal requirement. Going to the United Nations, stopping the army on 14 November at Uri, otherwise Muzaffarabad should have been with us in November 47, and so on. Now all that is past. What is the present? And before I talk about the present, let me remind you of a very painful fact of our history. From 999 AD, when Muhammad Ghazni started his incursions into India, till the end of the colonial era, that is 1947, we were subjugated repeatedly through our own weaknesses. It's interesting that Field Marshal Montgomery, in his book World History of Warfare, it's a magnum opus, he has written that the Indians, particularly the Rajputs, their fighting class, they were very gallant and chivalrous in battle. They would die for their country, but did not win for their country. That is a painful fact of history. And more recently, George Tenham, an US expert on strategy, has said that Indians lack a sense of a strategy. And I'm afraid in our dealing with these three threats that we have before us, Pakistan, China,